So, today we're going to talk about the changes coming for Season 13, and I'm pretty excited. These changes are the biggest changes that I've seen in Apex in a long time. The biggest thing is the overhaul of Ranked, and we're going to talk about that at the end. It's going to kind of be its own thing, but before we get into that, let's just get into all the other changes. Of course, the new legend coming is Newcastle. If you haven't seen Newcastle in action, it says he's a heroic defender. You get his backstory. He's Bangalore's missing brother. And so here are his abilities. Passive, retrieve the wounded. You can drag allies as you revive and protect them with your revive shield. So if you miss Lifeline's revive shield, well, this guy's got it, but you've got to actively pick them up. But the cool thing about him is he can drag them out of harm's way. So I think this is going to be a really interesting legend. I think that I'm getting ahead of myself. His tactical is mobile shield. Throw a controllable drone that creates a moving energy shield. So you can it sounds like kind of like a crypto drone, but you can move the shield around. I'm assuming there's going to be some health attached to that energy shield, but I haven't seen definitively. And ultimate, castle wall. Leap to an ally or target area and slam down, creating a fortified stronghold. So let's this is not. I do want to see his vignette trailer so we can see him in action.
Protector of the weak, champion of Harris Valley, savior. Newcastle has been called a lot of things, but no one really knows the man behind.
So there's that ground slam.
Hope to the hopeless.
No one but me.
I'm Newcastle. I'll make sure everyone makes it home.
Which home is that again?
I won't let you down, even when you're down.
He can use his knockdown shield to drive wounded
Okay,
teammates
that's
to
pretty
safety.
cool.
No one gets left behind.
Don't let his dance moves fool you.
Anyone call for a protector?
Jack, Newcastle can still move. His mobile shield protects his squad mates whether they're moving into battle or running away from one.
Just trying to hold it down for the folks in Harris Valley.
Sometimes the best offense is a good defense.
You're standing on the wrong side of the shield.
Newcastle can bring the cover. Thing is, walls are like secrets. They can't stand forever. We're gonna have a long talk, Newcastle. But until then, a little friendly competition.
All right, so that's Newcastle. That's what his kit looks like. It doesn't really give me any clarification on whether those shields are going to function with a health mechanic or just a timed mechanic. The only shield that in Apex has ever had a health mechanic is Gibraltar's arm shield. I think those things are going to be pretty OP if it's like a timed thing, but we'll see. I hope that you're going to be able to overload them. But all in all, really, really cool legend to bring into the mix. Being able to move the wounded, that's a big deal, especially in some of these more open maps where you've got allies who get down in the middle of a field, but your enemy doesn't really have the means to close the gap and capitalize on that knock. So yeah, Newcastle. Monstrous map updates. We got monsters coming in. Brand new POI, washed up sea creature known as the Downed Beast. Let's see. New PvE feature, IMC Armories. Those have the Spectres in them, the Spectre robots. So another PvE component coming to the game. Map rotation for the season for Saviors will be Storm Point, Olympus, and World's Edge. So you're not going to see any King's Canyon this season. Or the split. No, that says season. So no King's Canyon this season. So that's really interesting. And they're removing the longer 2-hour rotation block, which means you're probably getting a new map every hour. That seems to be what that's going to mean. All right, Wendy, well, that is good to hear. Glad I can keep you company while you're at work. Ranked Reloaded. We're going to talk about that all together here in a minute in this other segment, but big changes to Ranked. And there's some things I think are going to need tweaked, but all in all, I'm very excited. I think this is what Ranked has needed in Apex for a while. These are definitely big steps in the right direction. Let's finish the balance updates first. This is the thing maybe I'm most excited about in this entire update. If you've been watching my stream, you know that I hate Fortified. I think that having the thick boys, Caustic and Jibby, get a flat 15% damage reduction is to anything hitting them is overkill. I don't think that's a great mechanic, and this doesn't get rid of it, but it does reward you if you're skilled enough to where you can bypass it. So Fortified no longer reduces headshot damage. So if you can land those headshots, you can do full damage to these ledges. That's really exciting. So practice those headshots and you can bypass Fortify. Crafting rotation, Flatline and Longbow are coming back out to floor loot. I'm so excited about that. That was my loadout the previous season, and although it's cool to be able to craft it at any given time, you often have to pick between those weapons and other things that are more important in the crafter. The Rampage and the R301 are going into the crafter. So a little bit of a mixed bag there. I don't know if you'll see less R301s or more. It's definitely the most popular gun in the game, I think. It's the gun people like most. Whoa! Dan58. Thank you so much for the follow. Hello. And tell us your favorite donut. Mine is the Boston Cream. Chat if you want to weigh in with your favorite donut. I don't know how this started, Dan. We wound up talking about donuts a lot on this stream, so that's our go-to now. And welcome. Right now we're talking through the changes coming in this next season. Pretty excited about it. So yeah, I don't know if we're going to see less R301s or more. It's such a popular gun. It's so easy to control, the little tiny bit of recoil. Lots of damage can be put out pretty consistently with it. So I think it's going to be popular for crafting for sure. And if you are an R301 lover, then this season you're going to be able to have one every single freaking game if you want. So fun. The gold weapons are now going to be the EVA 8, the bow, the flatline, the P2020, and the Spitfire. And I gotta say, I think it's funny that even Apex, even Respawn has stopped referring to the Bocek as the Bocek. It is now just the bow. Let's go. Speaking the common language. Gold flatline, I'm gonna lose my mind. I love that gun so much. Very excited to have it back. Helmets buff. Blue helmet headshot damage reduction increased from 40% to 50%, and purple helmet headshot damage reduction increased from 50% to 65%. And this pairs with this next update, which is that the Kraber has received a bit of a nerf. Headshot multiplier down from 3.0 to 2.0, damage reduced from 145 to 140. So the Kraber's going to do less damage, it's going to get less of a headshot multiplier, plus your helmets are going to reduce damage more than they did. So surviving Kraber headshots is going to be a lot more doable. This is interesting to me because this past season they made, or maybe it's 2 seasons ago, they made the Kraber spawn a little less frequently. So continuing to reduce the Kraber's impact on the game. And personally, I don't know. In the lower levels of play especially, I don't think enough people are hitting the headshots that it feels bad to have the Kraber doing what it was doing, but I do see in the higher levels that Kraber's a little overpowered still, even for a care package weapon. So the next thing you should know is that all of the LMGs are getting a little bit of a nerf. So light machine gun's going to get a little bit weaker, including the L-Star, the Rampage, and the Devotion. And I don't want to go through every one of these stat changes right now. Just know that the distance at which your headshots are doing extra damage is going down. The cooldown times going up. Handling times are getting slower. So be prepared to deal with that when this new season launches if you are someone who picks up a lot of light machine gun. The Havoc improved recoil at the start of the pattern. That's interesting. The Havoc, underappreciated gun in my opinion. I've got some friends I play with who they'll roll the Havoc from time to time. A lot of people won't touch it ever since it got that big nerf. That big nerf was that very chaotic recoil pattern at the start. So sounds like improved recoil pattern, I'm going to assume means like easier to handle recoil pattern. So the Havoc might be a gun you're going to want to take another look at this split. Dual shell is being removed from the loot and floor loot and crafting bundles. So, no more dual shell. It's kind of sad. I ran a lot of 30-30 this split, and the dual shell really helps you keep putting that damage out consistently over time. So, I'm gonna have to be a little more conscious of my shots. Mozambique and Peacekeeper increased limb damage from 0.8 to 1.0. So, with the Mozambique and the Peacekeeper, you will no longer do less damage for limb shots. You're gonna get your full regular damage there. So that's neat. A little bit of a buff for those guns. Maybe you'll get less 9s with your Peacekeeper. I probably won't, but maybe you will. Crate weapons. The Spitfire goes back to the floor loot. So get ready to have to deal with the Spitfire all the time again. And the Mastiff is going into the crate. Compensate for that, of course, the Spitfire is going to get a little bit of a nerf, and the Mastiff is going to get a little bit of a buff. So basically, Spitfire is going to do more damage, handle a little... Sorry, Spitfire is going to do less damage, handle a little slower, reduce its multipliers, while the Mastiff is going to get a tighter blast pattern, less ammo, okay. But the damage per pellet is going to increase, and the pellet size is going to increase. And the fire rate is going to increase, so that Mastiff is going to go back to tearing people up if you can get it out of the care package. Cells and syringes spawn rates have been lowered by about 18%, so finding heals is going to be a little more challenging. And as a result of that, you may want to take a closer look at some of those legends that help you with your resources, whether that's Lifeline bringing the heals, Watson bringing the shields, or Loba bringing the loot. It's flashing. I don't know, and it doesn't know. Whatever. Alright. So, you want to plan ahead accordingly. Rampart's going to get a little bit of a buff. So, Sheila is going to spin up faster. Amped cover deploy health increased from 45 to 120. Alright, so you're not going to be able to just tap those a couple times and take them down. You're going to have to do damage while they're being built up. And amped cover deploy time decreased. So they're going to go up faster, they're going to go up stronger health. This is really important, I think. I think Rampart's a solid legend. We talked about that in the last video I did where we ranked all of the legends and their usefulness for King's Canyon. Rampart's just kind of missing something that other defensive legends have. And I don't know if this is going to make her feel better, but having Sheila move a little faster, that's going to be a big deal. And it's going to make it easier for her to actually get that cover up. So I think that's a good step in the right direction to make Rampart a little more viable. This kind of blows my mind. Valkyrie can no longer freely spin while launching during Skyward Dive. So if you play Valk or you play with a squad mate who uses Valk, you know that when it comes time to pop that ult, your team just starts screaming, spin, 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 because everyone's going to be trying to shoot you and you want to go up in the air, spinning in circles so that you don't die. And it sounds like that's not going to be something you can do anymore. And although that's a minor change, that's going to be a huge nerf, especially at higher levels of play where people can hit those shots. You're going to have to be a lot more careful about when you pop that ult. This is going to make it a lot easier to check some Valk squads. So we'll see how long this lasts before they do something else with it. I think this effectively kills this ult in a lot of circumstances where it was being used. Like, you're going to need more than just hiding behind a rock and popping Valk ult. You got to like get somewhere safe to do. And that seems fair. As someone that likes playing Valk from time to time, it's kind of sad though. Hello, Adam. How are you? Here's another big change, and this is also kind of a Valk nerf as well. When going out of bounds, the following will be disabled: legend abilities, weapons, ordinances, and survival items. Healing items, although it will not cancel mid-healing, and all active passives. For example, Valk's jetpacks. So when you've got that time out of bounds timer flashing, you can't use abilities, you can't use passives, you can't use anything. You just have basic movement. I think this is good. It's going to reduce people like taking advantage of cutting through some areas, but it also, the passive thing especially, just seems a little harsh to me, because there are some legends, I'm thinking Valk, I'm thinking Revenant, whose passive abilities can get them into areas that they can't get out of without those passive abilities. There are some weird places where you can fly up with Valk and you wind up falling kind of down in this crevice, and then you can't get back out without using a jetpack. So be really conscious of this if you play legends who can get you into some of those out of bounds areas. I too am good at them. Broccoli and dude, that sounds awesome. I love broccoli, and I love broccoli and cheese casserole. So I'm happy for you. And then there are some changes being made to World's Edge. Redesigned windows at Lava Siphon's control tower to focus sightlines. So it's going to be a little less open in the control tower at Lava Siphon. All this is about Lava Siphon, basically. Added some additional cover around Lava Siphon's lava pit. It's a little less open field. That's always good. I really don't like areas in Apex where there's just open field. And gondola loot has been tweaked. The chances of finding high tier armor in them have been notably reduced. So you're not going to find a bunch of purples in the gondolas anymore. Climatizer and Lava Siphon will remain as high tier loot POIs, however. So, and then you've got a bunch of arenas changes, and I never play arenas, and I don't talk about arenas. Maybe I should, but if you're looking for the arenas updates, I'm not really your guy. I don't know anything about it, and I'm not going to pretend. But you can read about it. Here they are. Trying to up my cooking skills before. That is important. I didn't really learn to cook before I went to college. And then one week I hadn't been eating well, and my girlfriend at the time, forced me to learn how to cook better. I think so I don't know if there are any actual numbers, Hoagie, on how many people play arenas. Let me take a quick look-see for you. I know, like, you know, McRobots and that crew, they love playing arenas. I think they spend more time in arenas than the BR. Let's see. See if we can get a player count. Everything I'm seeing says no concrete numbers, but definitely it's a minority of players. It is not the most popular of the game modes. And I think if we see Control come back in a full, like, regular capacity, I think Control would easily supplant Arenas as the more popular game mode. We talked about this when Arenas dropped. I don't know if you remember, but like, it's such a weird name because it's not an arena game mode. Arena is like Halo. You're in an arena, you're going to pick up the power weapons, you're shooting each other, you're respawning. This is like, I don't even know the word. It's like a tactical shooter like Valorant or Siege, right? Like weird, just kind of a weird mode. I don't know. It was fun. I enjoyed it when it launched, but I don't mess with it. Banning Circle from the kitchen. I've never had anything Circle's cooked, so I don't know if that's warranted or not, but I trust your judgment. And then we got some bug fixes, a lot of like exploitable things. So fix for players inside of Bangalore smoke unintentionally getting aim assist on targets outside the smoke. So, you know, we got stuff like that. We've got some animation fixes. We got some things, some broken things, problems for legends. I went through these earlier. I didn't see anything that was like a major problem, something I've been keeping an eye out for. Fix for cases where players who get killed by Deathbox if coming in contact with it on the airship. So, yeah, these are all, you know, you can go through those. Nothing like major game changing there, I don't think. And got some individual fixes for crypto. They did patch out that bug where Fuse could aim at a flyer and get just this massive circle of fire to scan a huge section of the map. So that's pretty good. That's important. I don't think there's anything big there. And then in the custom match system, which doesn't affect a lot of players because I think you still have to get like access to this. This isn't a mode everybody can use yet. So, but they've made some improvements to that. So that's cool. Hopefully we'll see more private tournament kind of stuff being able to happen.